Welcome to part 2 of 5 of our RV Living Start Here series.
Today we're going to talk to you about how to pick the perfect rig for you. Hey everybody, I'm Natasha.
And I'm Bill.
And we're nursing our travel bug. I'm a travel nurse.
And I'm a stay-at-home dad.
And we travel all over the country with our 2 kids, our dog Bernie, in our 5th wheel RV. So if it's your first time here, welcome.
Today we're going to talk to you about how to pick the perfect RV.
First, we should talk to you about all of the different kinds of RVs.
First RVs we're going to talk about are the motorhomes. The one behind me here is what's considered a Class A. It's the big rig, usually the most expensive too.
Another class of RVs are the Class Bs. Now, walking in our RV park, it's really hard to find them. You don't see them very often. But Class Bs are your converted camper vans. They're small, they're compact, they can go anywhere. But despite their small size, they can come with a pretty big price tag.
Another one in the motorhome class here. This is a Class C. All the comforts of a Class A, a little bit smaller, and generally less money. The next types of RVs we are discussing are the towable kind. This one here is a 5th wheel.
Yes, it is the largest of the towable RVs. In fact, some of them can be just as long as a Class A.
That's right. And the great thing about them that I like are the tall ceilings.
It gives you the illusion of more space. Next, we have travel trailers. They are a bumper pull style towable vehicle. They come in many floor plans and many sizes, from small like this guy to pretty long like this guy. These are the most affordable of all the classes of RVs.
Now that you know about the different types of RVs, we're going to go on to our 5 things to consider for choosing your perfect RV. Number 1.
What's your budget? As we discussed before, RVs come in a wide range of prices. The travel trailers are the most affordable. Then your 5th wheels and maybe Class C's are pretty much even keel for price point. Then you have your Class B's. And finally, your Mac Daddy Class A's are going to be the most expensive RVs. So you have to know what kind of budget you're working with. Another thing you need to consider when you're talking about price is whether you're going to buy new or used. Now, there's nothing wrong with either option. There's just things that you have to consider again. New, of course, is going to depreciate within the first couple of years a lot faster than an older RV.
But you can customize it and order it from the factory, and it would come with a warranty.
And you're the only one who's lived in it, so it's 100% just yours. Of course, going used is a more affordable option.
Well, the used RV, as everyone says, someone else has already been through it. They worked the kinks out. Hopefully, all the stuff that comes from the factory, not so great, has already been fixed.
Yes, but again, somebody else has owned it. You don't know what kind of maintenance they did to it. You don't know how they took care of it. So there's never a guarantee that you're buying it ship-shape. So we recommend getting an inspection on your RV, whether it's new or used. Have a certified inspector come and check your rig over to make sure things like water damage, appliances, fans, your roof, all of that stuff is in tip-top shape and ready for you to make it your home.
Another tip we have for you, sometimes when you're shopping, you gotta beware of the salespeople pushing these super long-term loans on you. Hey, I can afford $450 a month for the next 25 years.
Man, your RV just does not maintain its value like a home does. So it doesn't make sense to get a mortgage or a loan for your RV that has a 20, 25, 30-year loan term. You're going to pay way too much in interest rates. And 2, you might find yourself upside down in the loan if you decide to trade it in or sell it. The second thing you should consider before picking your RV is, what do you already have?
Maybe you already have an RV that you want to trade in. Maybe you're considering a towable RV and you already have a truck.
Or maybe you want a Class A, B, or C motorhome and you already have a towed vehicle you want to take along on your adventures.
If you do already have a truck, you got to know what it can tow safely. Once you figure out what it can tow safely, is there an RV that you like that fits within that range?
If not, do you plan to trade it in on the purchase of a bigger truck?
On the other hand, if you're looking into a motorhome, do you have a car that you're planning on towing behind it? The insider information is they call that a towed.
With your towed, is it able to be towed with 4 wheels down? Or are you going to have to look into some kind of a car dolly? That could be a little bit of an added expense you weren't considering in the beginning when you made your budget.
And those toads are really handy. If you're hitting a big city and you want to zoom around, it can be a lot easier to do that in a car than your big old motorhome. We got a tip. If you're worried about making 2 large purchases like a truck and an RV, or an RV and a towed vehicle at the same time,
we suggest you make both of those purchases together in a short frame of time, usually less than about 30 days.
Why is that?
Well, you want to ensure that you use your best credit score when applying for these new loans.
Our third point to consider is, who's it for?
Are you a single person looking to travel?
Are you a couple?
Or are you a family? Now, depending upon your family unit, this might determine what kind of a rig or what kind of a floor plan you may need to consider.
Now, of course, we know all sorts of families that travel in probably every single class of these RVs, so it's really up to you and how you want to live.
Exactly. There's no right or wrong way to RV.
But if we're throwing our opinion out there, a Class B would probably be pretty tough for a family, a larger family especially, to travel in comfortably and have everyone get along great.
Yes. We've seen families travel in a Class C. Most of them choose the Super C, which is longer and typically has a bigger slide out than a standard Class C. So it's almost like a Class A, but still just slightly more affordable. Typically though, when we are meeting families on the road, they are in a 5th wheel or a travel trailer. The fourth thing we want you to consider before picking out your rig is,
what's your lifestyle like? Are you a minimalist? Of course, everyone living in an RV is kind of a minimalist, but of course there's different sizes of RVs, so there's gonna be different levels of that.
Also, are you sporty? Do you enjoy kayaking, surfing, hiking, snorkeling? If you enjoy those activities, you have to have a place for all that gear.
Maybe you're into motorsports. Maybe you have motorcycles, ATVs, razors, or you just got a bunch of bicycles.
Or even a golf cart.
That is when you might want to look into a toy hauler. If you're hauling around these big toys, they got a great garage space in the back that they'll just slip right in. You won't need a trailer. Or if you're like me, you just like rest and relaxation.
And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're more of a homebody, just want to Netflix and chill, you're gonna want a fantastic entertainment area.
Man, there's 5th wheels with front living rooms that have amazing seating areas. That's the way we chose our 5th wheel. It has a rear living area, has an awesome area for the whole family, and I can just sit back and watch baseball all day.
So no matter what your lifestyle is, make sure that you pick an RV that's gonna complement your way of living.
We made it to number 5 on the list. How are you planning on traveling?
Are you like us? Do you like to hang out in campgrounds and RV resorts?
Or maybe you want to take it off the trail to some BLM land and do some boondocking.
Or are you sort of in between and you want to check out state parks or get some fantastic views in our national parks?
All of these might be easier or harder depending on your RV. National parks and state parks, they're known for not really being big rig friendly. A lot of them, I want to say, are 30 feet and under is where you're going to want to be to get into a spot there.
Yeah, our big old fifth wheel, not going to make it. Like I said, for us, we typically stick to the campgrounds and the RV parks. We have more community there, your spaces are a little bit bigger, and sometimes you get a little bit of activities too. But typically with those, any kind of rig will fit in there, from the tiny pop-up campers all the way up to the 45-foot fifth wheel RVs.
Now, boondocking, yes, you can find spots no matter the size of your rig. But our friends have told us firsthand it's a lot easier if you have a smaller vehicle. And some fifth wheels and other travel trailers will have stabilizer jacks that hang down, which can make it hard if you're traveling on an uneven surface. You don't want to mess up your RV.
Now, yes, you can even boondock in something like a Class A, but man, those things are big, beautiful, and expensive. And you don't want to take that big giant rig down a rocky, bumpy, unpaved, crummy road and have something bust.
But like we said, we know people in all sorts of RVs that do it. Diary of a Family, Hippie in the Tech, No Ordinary Path.
And all three of those channels have a Class A fifth wheel, and a travel trailer, and they make boondocking work. But it also takes a lot of preparation and planning and scouting to make sure that your location is big rig friendly. This is our RV.
After 3 years full-timing, our eyes may have been drawn to other beauties, but we still love it to this day.
I think we made the right decision for our family with this rig.
And yes, we considered all 5 of those categories when we chose this thing.
Let us know in the comments what rig really draws your eye. What are you looking for your next RV or your first RV?
Make sure you stick around for the next video in this series.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to our channel, please subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time we release a new video or we go live.
Well, I'm Bill.
And I'm Natasha with Nursing Our Travel Bug, encouraging you to get out there and nurse what makes you happy.